What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for the monthly loan watch, and there is quite a lot of players to speak about, and a lot of players doing bits at the moment out on loan. A few ups, a few downs. We'll get into it, and we're going to start off with one of the biggest ups, and that is Mr. Luka Vuskovic, generational talent. And don't use those words too lightly, because this guy actually is a generational talent. Like, how many times do we have to say it? It's unbelievable what this guy is doing out in Hamburg at this moment in time. As a centre-back, 11 games, 2 goals. He scored last weekend, and it was just astonishing. The goal, basically, think Giroud. I think he scored it for Arsenal. I can't remember who against. A scorpion kick. Curled his leg around the back of a defender and backheeled it into the back of the net. It was just something out of this world. An 18-year-old centre-back. He's got his call up to Croatia as well. He was one of the best players on the park on his first start for Croatia as well. He is just doing such fantastic things at Hamburg.
Yeah, and I would have thought Zlatan came out of retirement watching his goal. It was absolutely, if you haven't seen it, go and search for Vuskovic's backheel volley last week. It was one of the best goals you'll see all year. I think he's won, 2 Rookie of the Month awards out in the Bundesliga. He seems, every time I look at him, he seems to be earning man of the match, even in games that they don't win. I believe he's up there with the best teenagers this season when it comes to like SofaScore ratings, all that kind of stuff. Which for a team who are quite low down in the Bundesliga, like mid-table, and don't keep many clean sheets, the fact that he's so high up in those ratings just goes to show kind of how amazing his standards are. He wins headers for fun. His aerial duel rate is astonishing as well. Yeah, I think it was something like, last time I saw it was like 70% or something, and to do that, he was dominant when he was in Belgium, but now he's doing it in the Bundesliga, and that is a massive step up, and yet he seems to be completely at home there.
Yeah, and even when he plays like the bigger teams like Dortmund, he's still one of the best players on the park. It's just unbelievable. Protect this guy at all costs. I cannot wait to see him in a Spurs shirt. And you mentioned, up against under 21 players, but this is how he ranks against all centre-backs in the Bundesliga. First for aerial duels, first for aerial duels 1, first for defensive duel percentage, first for interceptions, and second for progressive carries against all centre-backs in the Bundesliga.
It's insane. For an 18-year-old, it's just, his rise is something to be studied, and he is an astonishing talent. There was a lot of talk about him when he was 15 years old, and he did sign for us, but he is just basically matched the hype. If this was a generational centre-back coming through the ranks, that's what it would look like. It would look like exactly what he's providing in a moment, and just begs the question what we do with him next season.
We got to put him part of the first team. We have to, unless he goes to like a better club, but I think he deserves to be part of our first team next season. I really do.
It's getting hard to ignore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting hard to ignore as the seasons go by. He's just... There was even talk potentially this season of him being part of the first team. We decided against it.
He decided
against it.
We actually wanted to keep him.
Whatever. Either way, it didn't happen. And now we've got a big decision to make in the summer.
Yeah. All right, so that's Luka Vuskovic doing unbelievable work out in Hamburg, and
and the fans love him there as well.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, he's got family ties to the club as well. He's loving it there. They're loving it there. Or they're loving it with him, and it's just sensational. And it's like there's nothing that phases this guy. Keeps moving up the ranks, keeps thriving and thriving as he goes. Got his Croatian call up as well. That didn't phase him. It's just unbelievable.
The World Cup?
He very well. I think he'll be in the squad. I don't know if he'll be starting, but he'll be in the squad.
Yeah, could be one injury away from starting.
Yeah, very well, could be, yeah. Let's talk about Minhuk out in Portsmouth, because I think the last time we did a loan watch, he was starting to really knuckle down and play well and get goals and assists. And look, as you can see, 12 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Ever since then, he kind of had a couple of poor performances out there after that, and then he's kind of been in and out of the team, struggling for consistent minutes with Portsmouth. Does have a cup tie with Arsenal in the 3rd round, so maybe he could do could do something special there. But Yeah, it's kind of been a bit up and down for Jan Minhuk. He had a kind of like period of like 2-3 games where he looked sensational, and it's kind of like petered out a little bit.
Yeah, and when we last spoke about him, all the Portsmouth fans seemed to be falling in love with him, and he seems to be a bit of a fan favourite. So it's a shame that he's been in and out of the team since then. Hopefully he can regain his form. I don't know if it's got so bad you might have to reconsider another loan. I don't know whether it's got to that stage, but
he's had one start this month. One start since
October,
since just after November started.
It's not great.
No,
it's not great. Hopefully he can start picking it up again. Look, there's a few games between now and the end of the year before we have to make that decision, so don't need to be anything too hasty, but at the moment it's not going in the right direction.
No, definitely not. Which is a shame, because it looked like he really was starting to kick into gear, and then it wasn't to be.
I do wonder whether that problem which you assume he might have, which is struggling the physicality of the league, I wonder if that's something that he struggled to overcome consistently.
Maybe, but look, it's a long old season. Still time to turn it around, in my opinion. Next up, we're going to talk about Manor Solomon. Not going too well for him at Villarreal either. Struggling for minutes, struggling for game time. They seems to only get starts in the Copa del Rey. In the league, he comes on for like last 20 minutes in games and not really doing much. It's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, now he started really well. Like, he was doing some good stuff early on. So it's a shame that he hasn't really been able to carry on and break himself into the team. It's not like Villarreal have been doing great this season. So, with them struggling, you would have thought he's going to get opportunities, but it seems as though he's still not fancied. Yeah,
I guess the positive for him, he's kept himself fit all season so far. I think he only missed like 1 or 2 games through injury this season. But they just can't seem to get him on the pitch. And look, whenever I see him play, he looks like an exciting prospect, willing to take on his man, got a good cross on him. I remember I was watching that game, Israel against Italy, and he was just fantastic in that game, taking Italy's fullback to the cleaners. So I thought in a struggling Villarreal team, he would see more minutes than he does.
It's a massive shame at the moment, because he had such a great loan spell at Leeds last year, and this was a massive season for him to really kick on. And the fact that it's been kind of floundering must be hard to take at the moment for him. It just obviously begs the question what his future holds. Maybe a January move to Leeds? Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah, I think that would probably suit all parties, because that season at Leeds has been his best season of his career.
Felt at home there,
yeah,
and he was playing great football, and Leeds probably could do with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up is Alfie. It's Alejo Veliz I've got here. So Alejo Veliz is, Alejo is doing okay. 16 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. The league finished there about a month ago, so he hasn't played any football in a month. But he finished the season with quite. He finished the season with quite a flurry. He was getting consistent goal contributions. It felt like he was getting goal contribution like 1 in 2, 1 in 3 games. Yeah,
which is great for him. But I don't think there's any real pathway back to Spurs, especially with the fact that we've got Scarlett there. You've got Lankshear there at the moment as well. We've got currently strikers on our books. I don't think we're looking at him potentially to come back into the team, but hopefully he buys his way a permanent move there, or another team out in South America.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's got a home there. Obviously, we bought him off there. He feels comfortable there. But he's still young. So he's got a whole career ahead of him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Next one is Alfie Devine. He's not on the we don't have a picture of him, but he's played 19 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. He's currently got back-to-back Man of the Match awards for Preston as well. They love him there. They've got a song. I've seen various updates from Preston fans on social media saying, we need to sign this guy. This guy is amazing. He's the hub of the team. They love him there.
Yeah, and we saw early in the season he scored some great goals, wasn't he? And some really difficult goals from outside the box and great finishes. So great to see that he's getting Man of the Match, even though he's not goal scoring or assisting or anything like that. He's like just playing well in general, and that's like really encouraging. He seems to be going from strength to strength this season. Obviously, he's one that Tottenham fans have or affinity to, because he came so young. He scored in his debut at 16, and there's always been high thoughts of him. And
but also that pre-season under Ange, man, I thought he was one of our better players in that pre-season.
He looked good there as well. So who knows?
The boy's definitely got talent. Doesn't he have an option though? Don't Preston have an option to buy him?
I think there was rumours about that, wasn't there? we'll have to wait and see. Kind of at the end of the day, we do have Gray and Bergvall at the moment, and Sarr's not exactly old, so it's difficult to find a pathway for him. But doing well, so hopefully maybe he'll get moved to the Premier League in the near future.
With Alfie Devine, what I'd like to see is potentially to sell him in the summer, but to have a buyback clause, because I do genuinely believe this guy has got a lot of talent. But with the competition for places right now at Spurs, it's going to be hard for him to break into the team. That's the reality. All right, who's next? So next up is Mikey Moore at Rangers. Fantastic. He is doing fantastically well. Had a very hard start there. 10 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. So they started off there with Russell Martin, playing him in some position that didn't suit him. Rangers were obviously losing pretty much every week. They were like near the bottom of the SPL.
Martin was getting attacked.
Yeah, and the Rangers fans were slating Mikey Moore. Let's not forget that. They were slating him week in, week out, saying, what's the hype about this guy? This guy's not good enough. Tottenham sold us a dream, all this kind of stuff. Danny Rowe, it's all changed since Danny Rowe has come in, and he's the manager of Rangers now. Mikey Moore has really flipped it on his head, really. The Rangers fans are waxing lyrical about him. They're like, oh, now I understand where the Spurs fans are coming from. He's impacting games, he's dominating games, he's scoring goals, high quality goals. And he scored 2 goals, right? But he's actually scored 2 disallowed goals, which both of them actually could have been counted as a goal. And high quality finishes, so Mikey Moore. So he is really kicking into gear now in the SPL.
Yeah, and he just came back from an injury, didn't he? Just recently, and he first came back, didn't miss a beat, and came off the bench, and as you say, he got a goal and assist, and he scored another goal which was disallowed. The guy's on fire. He seems to really found his role. He's kind of playing like an inside left position, like given the freedom to roam around the pitch. And at times, I mean, look, it's very early on. He's only had a few good games, but at times it looks like it's too easy for him. Like on occasion, like he's just breezing past players, and some of the finishes are just delightful. The one against Livingston last week, ran from like 40 yards from goal, ran past a couple of players into the edge of the box and just finished it so seamlessly into the far corner with finesse. It was a lovely finish, and he's really found his feet, I feel, and he's gaining in confidence every week. The Rangers fans have a song for him. Can't remember how it goes, but they've got a chant for him.
He gets the ball, he scores a goal. Mikey Moore.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the Rangers fans are falling in love. Even Europa League, he's making a lot of impact. I think he was given a lot of credit when in the
Roma game,
and also the Old Firm derby. He came off the bench and he was given a lot of credit.
So those 2 games were actually the turning point for him. He didn't score in those games, but he had a massive impact, and I think that's what those kind of performances, I think, were the literal turning point for him.
So it looks like the change of manager's done the trick, and let's hope he goes on to absolutely storm it for the rest of the season now if he stays injury free.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he does and he keeps going in this trajectory, what happens with him next season? Is it another loan back into English football, or do we keep him around?
Well, at the moment, there's a spot open on that left wing, but we might sign someone in January. It's a good question. I would like to think we can keep him around. But another question is he a left winger or is he number 10?
Yeah, that's the thing, because we spoke to a Rangers fan, and a lot of Rangers fans think that his future is at number 10 with what he shows. Because they think like he doesn't have that blistering pace to be a consistent left winger.
That seems to be where he's doing all his best stuff when I'm seeing him kind of in the pockets of space just outside the box. So I've heard from a few people who watched him when he was younger said his future will be number 10. But when he was obviously at the youth level, he had the pace against those kind of players to get away from them, and he was a very good winger. But a lot of people think he is going to be a future number 10. And if it is true, we have at the moment Simmons, Kulusevski, Maddison. By the time he comes back, they're going to be fit. And Bergvall potentially can play there. So
he might not be a 10 straight away, though. Yeah.
But can he be a starting winger for us or a winger option? I don't know. I think Frank's going to have to assess that.
Yeah. All right, after Mikey Moore, we are going to talk about Ashley Phillips, who is having another great season for Stoke. Obviously, he was on loan at Stoke last season, back on loan at Stoke this season. It took him actually a bit of time to establish himself this season, where he was on the bench and not getting too much of a look in. But since the manager gave him his chance. There's no look back. He's pretty much starting every game. Reports from Stoke fans online are rave reviews pretty much every week. They love him. And Stoke are doing very well this season, and he's at the heart of defence for them.
That's great news. And the only thing is about him is we have Vuskovic there, and who do we prioritise in their development in terms of a pathway into the Premier League or into our team? Because Vuskovic is obviously doing it in the Bundesliga, but Phillips has been doing it for the last 2 years. Every loan spell, everyone seems happy with him, and everyone seems to think he does very well.
Here's a stat for you. Ashley Phillips has reached a milestone of 90 professional matches already. 76 of them is in the Championship, 14 in the Cup. So he could he probably will hit 100 Premier League professional games by the end of the season.
Which is nuts for a player of that age. And how many is Vuskovic on? He's probably on something similar. But unbelievable for him. I do wonder whether this is going to be a pathway for a move for Tottenham to get some money, or do we generally see him as a competition for our current centre-backs?
I think it's for a move, because I just think we've got too much competition now. I rate Ashley Phillips. I think he's going to make a very good career for himself. But I'm not sure if he's suited to play for a team that wants to play out the back, that wants to play in the way that we want to play, attacking, high-pressing football. I feel like he's more of a stopper, like a Stoke City centre, you know what I mean? That kind of centre-back.
Fair. But I've heard reports that potentially he has a bit more pace than Vuskovic.
He might have a bit more. Look, I don't doubt that, but also he doesn't have the on the ball ability that Vuskovic has, and I think that's what you need in the modern day centre back.
Vuskovic is ridiculous on the ball.
Yeah,
he's ridiculous. So look, maybe that's something Phillips needs to work on.
Yeah, definitely. Next up is the sad case of Jamie Donley, unfortunately. On the back of last season, we all thought this guy was going to go to Stoke, smash it out. He can't even get on the pitch in the Championship. He gets on the pitch sometimes in the cup games, sub appearances, but now he's just rooted to the bench, not even getting on the pitch, sometimes not even in the matchday squad. Really frustrating with Jamie Donley and his development at Stoke, and we need to call him back in January. I think that's the only option. Call him back, get him to another club where they value him, and get him on the pitch and playing regularly.
It's peculiar, isn't it, why it's gone so wrong for him? You think back to last season, scoring halfway line goals in the FA Cup against Man City, and just absolutely killing it week in, week out, especially in the running at the late in the season. He was just phenomenal, and there was a lot of hype around him, a lot of talk about him. So yeah, maybe it's just a manager doesn't suit him. Maybe it's just a clash of personality, or is he just that bad that they can't trust him? Because I remember there was even there was an injury, wasn't there, to Beijing Ho, and it looked like he was going to get an opportunity, and he didn't even really do that. So it's really sad that this is where it's at, and I agree. You just got to cut our losses, cancel the loan, try and find somewhere else. Is there even a chance he goes back to League One? I don't know, because he just hasn't got the game time.
The thing is, with him being at Stoke obviously had a very good season this year. They've got Beijing Ho in the number 10. He's obviously a very good player, does it, plays for his national team. And to be fair, Jamie Donley plays for his national team as well, and got his first national team goal in a 1-0 win and man-of-the-match performance for Northern Ireland. But Beijing Ho is further along in his development at this moment in time in Jamie Donley. And when you've got something that's working and you're doing well in the league, you're not going to change it really, are you?
Yeah, but you expect a few more starts. It's a long season. You're going to need to rotate, and the fact that he's barely starting, even in that,
or barely getting off the bench,
in that context, is really worrying. So I don't think, unfortunately, as much as it's true, it's not really an excuse to not play at all.
Yeah, maybe. I think he still. I think he has the quality to play in the Championship, and maybe he just needs to go to like a West Brom under Ryan Mason, or a Birmingham.
If Mason's still there.
Yeah. So I think he can go in the Championship, but maybe he just needs to drop down a bit in the Championship,
which he won't like to hear. But yeah, he needs to change. Maybe a foreign loan. I don't know. Maybe that could serve him well.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to go to Will Lankshear. 19 games, 5 goals, 0 assists. He's doing all right, Will Lankshear. Oxford not having the greatest season, but he's definitely their most favoured number 9 this season. I was actually reading a few reports in the last couple of weeks from Oxford fans, and in the last couple of games, so 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been on the bench and he's come on for the last half an hour. So the striker starting in his spot was Mark Harris, obviously. experienced striker. And a lot of Oxford fans were doing like, what are we doing here? Why is Mark Harris starting and not Will Lankshear? And that was music to my ears. I love that. So he's obviously leaving a bit of a impression on the Oxford fans. I look at the goals he scored. They're very much like kind of poachers' efforts, nothing too, out of the box or nothing too crazy. But he seems to have his positional sense is really good. Knows where the back of the net is. He back in the first team or back in the starting lineup in the last game, lasted 70 minutes. He hasn't scored since the 8th of November when he played West Brom. But it's going okay for him. It's nothing too good, but it's going okay.
I mean, 5 goals at this point of the season is pretty decent total for a young striker in the Championship, considering his last loan spell at West Brom went really bad. Like, he didn't play that much, and he didn't get a goal, did he?
Would have been nice for him to score against West Brom then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I think in terms of the context of his career, it's pretty decent, getting 5 goals at this stage. If he can end the season in double figures, that'll be amazing. Like, that'll be great. So I think he should be happy with his total, but he needs to just focus on trying to get into that starting more regularly and trying to find more varied finishes. At the moment, as you say, I've seen all of his goals. They've all been a lot of them been rebounds, kind of right place, right time. But a few of them have been battling the defender, getting something on a cross. But you have to work for those in men's football. You have to battling with defenders and all this kind of stuff, so it's difficult. So that's Haaland. A lot of his goals are like that. So it's nothing to be sniffed at.
So we got the next Haaland.
Maybe we do. He's only 20. He's very, very young. So I think 5 goals is good, but let's see if he. I don't want him to have a long period out of the team. That's what you got to be worried about. As you say, he hasn't started 3 of the last 4. So
he started the last game though.
But he does start the last game, so that's good. So let's hope he can keep his place in the team. If he does, he seems like he'll score.
Yeah, hope so. Next up is George Abbott. I'm not sure what team that is under George Abbott's name, but he is at Wycombe Wanderers.
Different George Abbott.
No, it's actually the same one, because when I went in the stats, it said League One. So I don't know what they're playing at. But with George Abbott, started the season very well. Very well. He was a key cog in that Wycombe midfield. He was playing very well, rave reviews. Unfortunately, he's been injured since October, and he's still due to be out until February. So he had a major injury with his quads. So hopefully once he comes back in February, he'll start to see more game time and get back into the team. But he did have a very positive start to the season, but injuries stopped that.
It's terrible news. And young players picking up injuries has always been something that is devastating and holds him back. So I really hope he makes a quick recovery and gets back on the pitch, because this guy we saw with Notts County last season as well, and this season, he's definitely going to have a long career in football. It's just, we'll have to see wait and see the level. I think the trajectory, he was getting ready to be in the Championship next season. So let's hope he gets fit as soon as possible.
Look, if he comes back in February and stays fit for the rest of the season, it's still a large chunk of the season that he can impress on, and but we'll see what happens. Next up is another player that's doing bits at the moment is Tyrese Hall at Notts County. We've got something going on with Notts County. They seem to be good at developing our players, because they did a great job with George Abbott last season. They're doing a great job with Tyrese Hall this season. He's playing kind of off the left, inside number 10, in a 3-5-3 system, a 3-4-3 system, and he's thriving. He really is thriving. He's scored 5 goals and 1 assist in 14 games, which is fantastic for a player like him. They love him there at Notts County. He did get sent off straight red in his last game, but no, that doesn't take away from how well he's doing.
Shows he's got fight.
Yeah.
He's got something about him. No, but that's great. And I've seen it. He's scored some lovely goals as well. Some really nice finishes, a lot of composure, a lot of quality. So I wonder if he's finding a new position, because obviously when he was first being touted, he was seen as like a more number 8 or number 6, someone deep lying. And when he played that one friendly, he played in kind of a number 6 position for Tottenham.
I think Tyrese Hall is super versatile. I think he can play anywhere. He can play in those positions you talk about. But actually, in his last season for the under-21s, he was playing a false 9.
So it'll be interesting to see when if and when he gets his chance higher up, where we see his long-term future in terms of position, because as you say, the guy seems to have really great composure. He seems very press resistant, very confident as well. So it's very exciting. It's great for him that he's finding this new role, because I think if he does eventually move back to a 6 or an 8, this time in the attacking positions is only going to help his development.
Absolutely. So last but not least, we're going to talk about Spurs' brand new player from January, Mason Melia, at St Patrick's. Obviously, the season is finished there for St Pat's. He's had a kind of breakout year for St Patrick's, scoring 13 goals, 3 assists in 35 games at the age of 18, playing men's football. So that's very impressive for Mason Melia. And let's not forget, he's been in the St Patrick's first team for the last 3 years. So he's getting more and more minutes, more and more games, more and more starts as the years have progressed. In his first year, when he was 16, he played 10 games, scored 2 goals. At 17, he played 31 games and scored 6 goals. And now at 18, he's played 35 games and scored 13 goals. He is going to sign for Spurs on the 1st of January. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Does he go straight back out on loan and we find him a championship loan or something like that? But he is the kind of talk of the town in Ireland at this moment in time. They really have a lot of high hopes from him in the national team setup.
Yeah, he seems like a really exciting talent as well. So be interesting to see if Frank does take a look at him and just sees, is he going to blow anyone away in training? Does he actually surprise people and get a chance? But again, we have strikers at the moment, so I don't know if he'll actually get a look in, given the fact we have Scarlett there and he's not getting a look in. So I assume another loan deal is probably the offing, unless we want to just give him a go in the under-21s and see how he fares there.
You know, I was reading a report on him from an Irish kind of journalist that obviously watches the Irish League week in, week out. And they said last year Mason Melia was a boy. This year he's a man. Very physical, very tall, aerial ability. A lot of his goals come from headers and stuff like that. You know, he has to fight with the centre-backs. And they say physically they think he's ready. For just like consistent men's football. Mm.
Okay, that's great news. So I don't know. Putting him straight in the Championship, is it too much? Maybe a League One move, but maybe ready for the Championship. We'll see if someone wants to take a punt on him. Yeah,
I saw a lot of clamour on social media for someone like Oldham to take him on from Oldham fans. Yeah, Oldham fans were saying, "Get this guy in."
I just see a future of Melia, of Lankshear, of Tyrese, all these players linking up together one day. I really hope we get to see that.
Mikey Moore, Luka Vuskovic at the back.
All these players.
The golden generation, people. It's the golden generation of Spurs. And the thing is, right, a lot of these players that we've spoken about today are around 20 years of age. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's kind of make or, like, not for their careers, but at Tottenham, it's make or break for a lot of them. Because how much longer can we keep sending these guys out on loan?
Yeah, players are getting involved in Premier League football younger and younger these days, aren't they? So I'm guessing they're going to be itching to get their shot at the big time.
Yeah. So, I mean, not all of them are going to make it at Spurs, but I think some of them will. And I'm very excited at the prospect of seeing which ones will. I think Vuskovic and Mikey Moore are the two that are the front runners at this moment in time. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Mason Melia, because with Mason Melia, like, it's all well and good doing it in the Irish League, but we know the Irish League is very low quality, very low quality. So once he steps up to English football and see how he does in training with the first team and everything like that, we'll get more of a picture of where he's actually at. But yeah, a lot of talent in the squad, a lot of talent out on loan. So we'll see what happens. But that is your loan watch, your loan report. Let us know which players that you're most excited for as well, and which ones you think can be part of the team next season or be part of the first team squad next season. But that is your loan report. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.